Oh yeah, you got your mouth full of water. It's a perfect way to start.
Perfect. Hydrated. Starting hydrated.
It's one of us that starts the show that way every week. Doesn't matter.
It's all right.
Yeah, dude.
It's one of my goals. Have a bunch of water. Stay hydrated. Feel good.
Yeah, I was at the dentist on Wednesday, and they were talking about like drinking flavored water and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, yeah, drink a gallon of water. And the one lady was like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm like so full. I'm like, well, that's part of the point. Some of it, a little bit, is like you're keeping your body content, sated.
Also, you're not doing it all in one go. You're not chugging a gallon. This is over an 8 to 10 hour period.
Hey, you're saying exactly what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, dude, you don't like just, it's not a chore.
No.
You drink a little bit every 10, 15 minutes. It's not really that hard to do.
Yeah. It's
but-
literally, I think, 4 or 6 of these.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the half galloner. So
Oh, you got, yeah.
Just two. I don't really usually drink two of those though, because I consume other fluids too. I mean, I've got, like, hey, this is Element, so electrolyte water.
I feel like I drink a half gallon of coffee a day. It's
Yeah.
probably not far off. I'll be honest.
Dang, dude. Hey, I mean, I'm not judging, dude. I love coffee as much as the next guy. I just don't drink it.
Starts at about 5:30 and goes to probably 10:30. So over a 5-hour period of drinking coffee.
One of my buddies' birthday was yesterday, and he's kind of a heavy drinker. And we were talking about how I don't drink. I don't bring it up. I don't like bringing that shit up with people. But he asked like how everything's been going, sobriety and stuff, saying he needed to kind of quit drinking. And he asked me what I drink, and I was like, "Well, it's just water." He's just like, "You don't drink coffee or anything or juice?" It's like, "No, like water and some protein shakes." Like, I don't know, dude. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. There's our little preamble ramble that you got. Enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
What do we have going on here? Jeez, we got comments flying in already.
Do we?
We do. Yes, Sean, you made it in time. Just so you're aware. Hello. Yes, you did.
No, that coffee does not make me irritable at all.
That's his natural state. Just kidding.
Take a pinch of Celtic salt with your water. It'll hydrate you. Yeah, it's electrolyte water when you do Celtic salt in it.
So, I mean, I'm doing that already.
Yeah, it's salt's an electrolyte.
Yeah.
So you put salt in your water and it just becomes an electrolyte-filled water.
Yeah, the only thing about the Element is it has potassium and magnesium, which isn't in your table salt, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's just expensive salt water is really what it is.
Yeah.
If it were less expensive, I would drink it exclusively, like all the time. But it's a little steep to try to do that for every water that I drink. So, table salt with my meals it is. Anyways, wow. Hey, Hydration Podcast coming at you straight from Dillon and the Doc. Speaking of, that's what show this is, isn't it?
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey,
let's get this going.
It is Dillon and the Doc, where relationship meets recovery. We come at you twice a week or 3 times a week. This time you get us 3 times a week.
It is.
Because we'll be on again tonight at 9 p.m. Central. If you're tuning in, you're hitting our 3 o'clock show. If you're not watching this at 3 p.m. Central, wherever you're located, you missed it live. I'm sorry. But hey, you can still watch it and enjoy it. So speaking of Dillon and the Doc, I'm Dillon. That's who I am. And I empower dads to lean into the lessons that their bad habits have to teach them, because they truly do have lessons to teach you, and they'll teach you how to get sober. It sounds strange, but it's true. And when you lean into those lessons, it helps you become more present for your wife and your children and really kind of thrive in the life that you would love to lead.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Help you get sober. So
I like it. I'm the other half. I am the Doc. I'm Dr. Ryan. I am a relationship expert, and I come at you from a place of experience, but also a very deep place of understanding of the field of relationship development, where I spent over a decade in graduate school, learning this stuff, figuring it out. Oh no, not a decade in grad school. 6, 9 years, 8 years in grad school.
Hey, for the purpose of storytelling, you round, man. It is a decade.
You round. Well, a decade in college learning
America,
this.
we round.
So yeah, that's how I'm able to do what other coaches are unable to do, which is get you back on track really quickly in your relationship to where it's thriving and you're successful and you're optimistic about the future with your partner. Pick you up out of the depths of despair of breaking up, of having relationship problems to where you're thriving. And that would be me and what I do.
You know, and you do it so well. And my wife and I's relationship is proof, because I've never done any of the coaching with him. I just actually pay attention to what he says on the show and apply it. So I can only imagine what he does behind closed doors. It's going to be pretty miraculous for the people that need it. So
it's good. I'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll get into it a little bit, but
cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'll answer that in a second. I can't wait to hear your answer to this, because I think we're going to be on different pages.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
No. Are we on different pages?
I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah, because I don't. Man, you can be sober and have no control over your emotions. You can have no EQ. You know, which like you don't even understand what's going on with your emotions and be sober. That's possible, because man, this has come up a lot this week for me. I'm going to try and make this as short as I can, Ryan, for the sake of you.
Let's hear it.
It's like the most destructive thing to some people's recovery is the recovery community. It's wild, because everyone has so many different opinions about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, what things mean, what things don't mean, and they don't agree on them. So then we get confused as hell. And instead of working our own program, we're letting like programs work us. And it sucks, you know? So my whole thing is that it is very difficult to gain any sort of emotional control without being sober. I'll say that. But they don't, like, sobriety does not always precede emotional control. But I promise you, if you don't get sober, you're never going to have emotional control, because you don't have any control over your mind. Like, that's just reality. And you have to be able to have some mindfulness to be able to understand what the hell you're experiencing. And that's really what emotional control is all about. So there you go. I kept it as short and sweet as I could.
Wow.
What do you think?
We are on the same page. I think these are two totally they are mutually exclusive.
Yes.
These two things.
Yep.
Your emotional control is one, a thing of maturity, and two, a thing of mindset.
Yeah.
Sobriety may be mindset, but it has nothing to do with maturity. These are not the same thing. And I think it's a dangerous place to think that these are the same thing. It puts you into a very fixed mindset around becoming the best version of yourself.
Totally.
Because there's steps you need to take and to become the best version of yourself, and your emotional control will follow as you take steps to become a better person, because you're working on mindset, you're working on mindfulness, you're working on your physical health, your mental health, your emotional, you're working on all these things. You'll be able to control your emotions much better, regardless of whether you're sober or not.
Totally. Hey, Sean, has anybody ever told you that you're not sober until you have emotional control? If you would drop a comment answering that for us, I'm truly curious, because I see that narrative spin out quite a bit in different recovery circles, little corners of the internet. And I just think, it's nuts, because what they're doing, they're creating this like, excuse me, this like sobriety spectrum. What in the heck just happened there? Oh, it's you. I was like, whoa. They're creating this sobriety spectrum that I think is just kind of crappy, because it's already kind of hard to get sober. But when I say kind of hard, I mean like really hard for most of us. So if you start splitting hairs and you're telling people they're not sober enough, like it makes people want to turn around and go home. Like, hey, thanks for running the mile, but it wasn't fast enough. You're not in the cool kids club.
Mhm.
You need to go. I don't think it should be like that. So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear anybody weigh in on what their thoughts are about emotional control and sobriety. Even if we don't agree, which Ryan thought we weren't, but we did. So hey,
Yeah.
so
100%.
yeah, I mean, emotions are a finicky thing, and you need to get sober first, but you don't have to do that. Hey, there we go. There we go. Hey, they can come in together, right? Walk into the room hand in hand.
Controlling actions is different than controlling emotions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'd love to know more about his story. I guess Sean, you're on here all the time. It'd be cool to connect, kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you got emotional control,
I think
you got sober, great.
I just feel like emotion is such a scapegoat for so many things, and people don't realize it.
Hey, well, and I mean that's fair. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe we're splitting hairs or misunderstanding what we mean by emotional control.
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about like being a Jedi all of a sudden and like, or Vulcan, excuse me, Vulcan, and you're just like, I have no emotions, because I don't have that. I can tell you that. You can ask my kids; they know that for a fact. Yeah, join Discord. Hey, there we go. Cool. I love that. Yeah. Hey guys, we do. There's a sobrietysurvival.com is I'm pretty sure it's linked up right now. Or I'm not your sponsor.com/survival. You can get in our Discord group, my Discord group, sorry, not ours. But yeah, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on
well, like from the I'm going to stay on the relationship side because it
Okay.
may differ a little bit.
Okay.
So, in a relationship, too many people confuse, like you're saying, being able to control your emotions and being emotionless or stuffing your emotions. And that is not the case. Being able to control your emotions is being able to feel that emotion, understand that emotion, and not act out irrationally on that emotion.
Yes.
That is the key to it. And it comes through a lot of personal self development. But the other side, oh, if I control my emotion, that means I just stuff it. I don't deal with it. I don't express it. No, you express it in a healthy way. If you're angry, you talk to your partner about it, explaining this is why I'm angry. You don't act out on it. You don't scream. You don't yell. You don't pull any of that childish BS that most people do when they're angry. You talk about it in a mature way with your partner. That's emotional control.
I am with you there 100%. We don't differ on that at all. I, as a 33-year-old man, experiencing my emotions for the first time in as long as I could remember when I got sober, it wasn't totally controlled at first. You know, I spent some time yelling in a pillow. I spent some time crying in a therapist chair, crying by myself. I experienced the whole gamut of emotion that I had been doing exactly what Ryan was just talking about, stuffing
Yeah.
for that whole entire time. Is like, hey, I don't have emotions unless I experience an extreme mood swing in my drinking, like a super duper down point, like you get bad news when you're drunk, you're going to lose your mind. Like that's what happens. But I'm with Ryan. It's not like I don't feel emotions. It's that I get to choose how I react to the experience instead of allowing the experience to overtake me. I'm yelling at my kids. I'm yelling at my wife. I'm like, I'm not pulling the dude that's drinking Mountain Dew, got his hat backwards and punching holes in drywall and stuff. Like, not living that life. So, I hope that provides some clarity. Hopefully, we're on the same page, Sean.
Yeah. And like you said, and I want to clarify, there's a difference between reacting and responding. The screaming, the yelling, the punching holes in walls, the judging, cutting down your wife, those are reactions.
Yeah.
Having a civil conversation about your emotion, how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, and solutions to that, that's a response.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get that wrong. And tell me if I'm wrong here. Drinking is a reaction to an emotion rather than a response.
Yo. I mean, like I got a few things I want to drop real quick on that. Like, I love how you talk about it as a reaction, because I would like to point out, if your response to a situation that makes you upset that you think through is like, I'm going to punch a hole through this wall, you got a little bit more going on than I'm here to work with. I don't know about Ryan, but it's like, you should not be, well, I know how to get the next thing I want, and that's just to like punch a hole in the wall or hit my wife or yell at my wife or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
those should never be responses. They
No.
should be a knee jerk, messed up, crappy coping mechanism to a situation, basically. But yeah, I mean, like I talk about it in my program. It's like, my coaching is not about the alcohol. It's about you and having a relationship with you to become the best version of you.
Mhm.
It all comes down to the things that, we picked up drinking as a way to stuff the emotions.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the way I'm going to react to this emotion is I'm going to get blind drunk and forget that I'm grumpy about the day, or even, unfortunately, we stuff good emotions too by celebrating and blacking out when we're having a good day. Does that answer what you were getting at?
It does, and I think it answers Kathy. I want to say something on Kathy's statement. She says, "I think everyone's different." Yes, I'm a social scientist. Therefore, I use research to generalize to a population,
Yeah.
meaning there are outliers. I'm talking about general. I'm talking um, the majority of people are this way. They react rather than respond.
Yep.
I don't care if you're drinking, if you're in a relationship, I don't care what you're talking about. That is the general consensus of human behavior. Um, and people do have different levels of emotional control, but that also is harmful to have that mindset, because that's assuming that they can't change, that they can't grow, and that they can't develop that emotional control or that mindset, which everybody can. Everybody can achieve that. But yes, I would say it does rob you of the opportunity to grow with that, the mindset. When you're stuffing emotions, when you're not working on your emotional control, you're not growing. You're robbing yourself of that ability to grow into a better human being.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, by and large, both our programs are very mindset centric.
Yeah.
They have to be, like, you have to believe you can be better at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Uh, and yeah, I mean, I love how you point out, yes, Ryan and I do have to, from time to time, paint with broad brushes, because we can't speak to the entirety of every individual within a given population. Like, it's like, there's too many people. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, but I do love it. Like, we're not trying to stifle anyone's growth by making a broad generalization or say that you belong in that group.
Yeah.
We just have to, we have to speak to the rule and not the exception. That's just reality, right?
Yeah. And even in research, social research, I'm talking with 90 to 95% confidence,
Mhm.
meaning this applies to 90 to 95% of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. The right way. Well,
The correct way.
yes. So there you go. Are we done with that?
Yeah.
You want to be done with that? We can be done with that.
We can be done with that. We can do whatever we want.
Hey, it's the Whatever We Want show.
That's right.
Cool, dude. Well, what are we Let's see. You're talking about.
I'm talking about identifying and overcoming obstacles to goal achievement.
Hey, it's almost like it's your segment today, so you know what you're talking about.
Oh, weird.
I
Weird.
hope you know what you're talking about because you're the one talking about it,
I
right?
got it. I got it. I got it.
Did you want to talk about it, or you want to keep on rambling for a little while? It's up to you.
Yeah, I can jump into it real quick if we want to.
Hey, I would love to give you a segue into it from here, but I don't think we have one.
Yeah, we don't. We didn't really talk about goals. I mean, we can talk about the goal mindset, but
Oh, hey, we could.
I'm just going to take this time to run you through this lesson that I have in my course.
Oh, hey, cool.
Broadly. So I want to talk about kind of the role. What role does identifying and overcoming obstacles in your life have? What happens there, and then how to approach it, because I think those are two of the biggest takeaways when we're talking about goals. And I know goals aren't the sexiest thing to talk about, but they're necessary.
What?
They are very, I know, right? They're so necessary if you want to develop, become more self-aware, become a better individual. You need to set goals.
Well, what you just said though makes it sexy. If you don't think goals are sexy, you're hanging out the wrong people. You know?
Yeah. And so I always start out with this quote by Michael Jordan that I like. Obstacles don't have to stop you. It's like running into a wall and you turn around and just give up. Instead, you need to figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it.
Yeah, I'm into that.
That's what this whole thing is about, and that's what goals are about. Just because something blocks your way when you're trying to reach a goal doesn't mean you stop. There would be no greatness in this world if people just stopped. And that's kind of what I want people to wrap their heads around when I'm talking about this.
Okay, cool.
So
thanks.
here's the role, and it's really about increasing our individual success, but also increasing the success of our relationship from the point that I take it. And it does it through making us more self-aware. It makes us more resilient. It helps us learn how to learn problem-solving skills. It promotes personal growth. It promotes self-improvement, and it strengthens the relationship with ourselves and with our partner.
Yeah.
So it gives you these skills and the mindset needed to not just navigate goals when we do, but navigate all challenges in life. Because once you identify obstacles and goals, you're going to start identifying obstacles to every challenge that you face in life. Your setbacks, it's just overall success and fulfillment in your life. So one way it does this is it enhances your self-awareness. I'm all goals. So when we identify and overcome obstacles, we're really increasing our own self-awareness, because we're reflecting on our thoughts, we're reflecting on our feelings, behaviors, but also any external factors that may hinder the progress. And self-awareness is essential. This is personal growth in a nutshell. Like, self-awareness is the building block for personal growth and development. Because this is where informed decisions come from. This is where we get our realistic goals, and this is how we adapt our behavior to setting goals. Next thing it does is it builds resilience. So when you're faced with challenges on your way to achieving a goal, you develop resilience because you hit these obstacles, these challenges, and you don't just stop. Like Michael Jordan said, you find a way over, find a way around, or find a way through. And you bounce back from failures and setbacks. And the more you do this, the more accustomed you become to being a resilient individual.
Yeah.
This is where we start staying focused, our motivation increases, and we become really persistent in the face of obstacles. The third thing it does is it fosters problem-solving skills. Problem-solving skills are essential in every area of your life. I had some clients yesterday, and they were trying to solve a problem, but they were attacking each other instead of the problem because they didn't have proper problem-solving skills. They didn't know how to even identify what the problem was. Instead, they were thinking that each other were the problem. So when you come up on these obstacles, it's necessary that you can think critically, you can analyze the situation, and you can come up with effective strategies to overcome those challenges. And then the fourth thing is it promotes growth and self-improvement. So overcoming your obstacles typically requires that you step out of your comfort zone. Contrary to popular belief or what people like or what they don't, you do have to step outside your comfort zone to solve these problems, because very few problems can be solved within your comfort zone.
Yeah.
This is where we get people pleasing. This is where we get codependent relationships. This is where a whole slew of problems comes from, is that we're stuck in fear. We're stuck in complacency. So when we do this, we kind of have to step outside that fear, that complacency, and into new territory. And by doing this, like, your self-confidence is going to go up, self-efficacy. These are both essential for every single area of your life. And number 5 is it strengthens your relationship. So just simply overcoming obstacles, and I can go into this a little bit later, is it helps build trust, it helps build communication, and it helps build mutual support. So it helps build trust because you are doing what you said you would do. You are making it happen. You say you have a goal, you're hitting that goal, you're increasing trust with your partner. Communication is huge because you need to be able to talk to your partner. You need to be able to talk around this stuff, and mutual support. By talking to your partner, they know how to support you and you know how to support them. So how do we approach this? The first step everybody should take is looking at it and identifying any obstacles that may prevent you from achieving your goal. So, for example, it could be a lack of resources, a lack of skills, knowledge, or an overall just lack of support. There could also be external factors like time constraints or unforeseen circumstances. I mean, anybody with kids realizes how important it is to think about unforeseen circumstances that may happen.
Yeah. I hear that very loudly.
So once you've identified some of these obstacles, now I would ask that you write down your goal and you come up with 3 to 4 obstacles, both internal and external things, and then analyze them. So you need to understand what the root cause of that obstacle is and how it's going to impact your goal. By doing this, you're prioritizing which obstacles to address first and develop a plan to overcome that obstacle. Then we develop the plan. So you've analyzed it. Now you're going to develop this plan. So you either need to acquire new skills, acquire more knowledge, you need to seek support from others, you need to adjust your timeline, or you need to find some creative solutions to these unexpected challenges. And then with this in place, the fourth thing we do is we take action. So this might involve like breaking down our goals into smaller, more manageable steps, right? Our goal may be so broad that we can't even wrap our head around it, or we lost motivation, or we lost drive. We just don't know where to start. If this is the case, this means we need to break it down, and it needs to be more manageable. Then we also need to track our progress and make adjustments along the way. And the final thing we do is monitor. So we monitor our progress and evaluate success in each obstacle. Now, every obstacle isn't going to be there. Identifying and overcoming obstacles is a proactive approach to making sure that your goals are achieved. So just because you write it down, don't go out and make it an obstacle. It's just a plan. And then I take them through a few different things. We go through embracing failure, a whole worksheet. There's an obstacle analysis sheet. Let's see. And I'll go over both of these real quick. So embracing failure. So the first thing we need to realize is that failure is a natural part of life. Not only is it natural, but we need to start viewing it as a valuable source of learning and growth.
Yeah,
so I've made this this worksheet, this exercises for my clients. So the goals of it are, we want to develop a positive mindset towards failure and start viewing it as an opportunity for growth. We also want to reflect on our past failures and take out valuable lessons and insights from those. And then I challenge them, or I have them challenge and reframe any negative beliefs or thoughts related to failure, develop a proactive plan, and leverage failure as a stepping stone towards success. Learn from failure role models and apply their insights to your own. I mean, there are so many people out there talking about their struggles, their failures that they hit before they became successful. Learn from those people.
Yeah.
So some of the activities, mindset assessment, I have them do this, which is reflect on your current mindset towards failure. Are you afraid of failure? Do you view failure as a setback, or do you view it as an opportunity for growth? And then really just sit down and write your thoughts and feelings about failure, and consider how your mindset towards failure is probably impacting your actions, all of your actions, and all of your decisions. That's where we start to reframe, refocus, and build a growth mindset around failure. And then failure reflection. Think about a recent failure that you've had. Write down the details, including what happened, how you felt, and what you learned from it. And then really extrapolate some of the lessons you gained from that failure and how it contributed to your personal growth in that instance or that experience. Next one is reframing. So really asking them to challenge any negative beliefs or thoughts that they have about failure. So they're identifying patterns of negative self-talk or limiting beliefs that are related to failure, and reframe them into positive, empowering statements. So for example, instead of "I failed," or "I am a failure," or "I suck," or "I'm stupid," whatever the case is, you want to reframe it to, listen, I experienced a minor setback, I'm learning from it, and I'm growing from it.
Yep.
It's just changing how we talk to ourselves. Failure, we talked about the action plan. So we identify specific actions that we're going to take to leverage failure as a stepping stone. So this includes setting realistic expectations, developing resilience and perseverance, seeking feedback from other people, and seeking support from other people. Next, we talked about failure role models. So look for successful people who have absolutely embraced failure, and they've turned those setbacks into actual opportunities for growth. Study their stories, their experiences, and their mindset towards failure. write down all the key insights and lessons you can learn from these people and how you can apply them to your own life. And the one thing guys hate is journaling, but a failure reflection journal, start a failure reflection journal to document each and every experience you have with failure so that you can reflect on it and learn from those lessons. This becomes a tool for self-reflection, for growth, continued improvements. And in it, you're going to write down like your thoughts, your feelings, any insights you may have about failure, and then look back on it periodically to take a look at how far you're actually progressing and how much of a growth mindset you're actually developing during this journey. So that's that one. And then the obstacle analysis. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so people can see it. I'll give away the goods.
Do it.
Let's see.
I can't wait to see how many tabs you have open.
Oh man. Let's see.
This is the first time we've ever shared a screen on the show.
It is.
And the first time on this platform. So this is
you're gonna have to let me know if you can. Oh, that's not it. Window. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Can you all see that?
Hey. Whoa, yeah. Cool. I like this actually. A lot better than Zoom, dude. This is cool.
So this is the actual worksheet out of my program. And it's an obstacle analysis. And so I asked people to choose one goal from their list. So by this point, they've already written down their goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then for that goal, they're going to identify 4 to 5 obstacles that they may encounter, thinking about internal versus external factors. Be creative. So, and then I give them an example. So what's your goal? What's the obstacle? Now write down, how does this obstacle affect your ability? So here we go. Dillon, writing your book. I want to write this ebook. What's one obstacle I'm going to face?
How do I format a book?
Okay. How do I format a book? Obstacle 1, knowledge. I lack knowledge.
Yep.
How is it going to affect your ability to achieve your goal? Well, one way it's going to affect it is it's going to hinder you from even beginning.
Yep.
It's going to put that fear mindset into you. And then what challenges or setbacks might it create? That's all in there, right?
Yep.
So what are some solutions? Let's think about some real quick, right? Solution 1, hop on Amazon self-publishing and find out what the formatting is. If you don't understand formatting, let's go find some free documents from an English department at a college, local college.
Yep.
Let's listen to some podcasts on self-publishing. Let's pick up a book on
YouTube.
Yeah. Let's hop on you, like all of this, right? Because once we know that this is a knowledge thing, our strategies become so clear. They become super easy to figure out. Cool. Then for that same goal, we'll go another obstacle.
Time.
Like, I don't think I have enough time. What challenges is that going to create?
Well, that's a mindset one at first.
At first, it's a mindset one. Let's be more clear then. More than time. What's the obstacle with time?
Excuses.
I have too many other things going on. Like there's too many things going on. Okay. How does it affect my ability? Right? This has to become last. The challenges I have are something's going to have to give. I'm going to have to give up something. I have to prioritize some stuff.
Yep.
So how can we brainstorm this? How can we consider a different strategy? One thing we can think about is, what am I prioritizing, and at what level does this need to be prioritized? Because this is going to take precedence over something else. You were saying this is going to be with your course. Well, if you have a deadline for your course, this needs to be bumped up there in priority, meaning some other things need to be brought down, like maybe editing YouTube videos.
Why are you speaking straight to me?
Because you're doing this. So they go through, here's 5 obstacles they have, and they have to brainstorm through all the 5 of these for their one goal. And what this does is it alleviates a lot of the nonsense that we think is going to be in our way of achieving a goal. So here's one. The goal is to run a half marathon in 2 months. Hey, you want to run a marathon. Perfect. Lack of time due to work schedule is my first obstacle. So it means I have limited time to train.
Mm-hmm.
And I may potentially have to miss workouts, and which leads to inconsistent progress. What can I do? Well, one, I can adjust my work schedule to allow for consistent training time. I can also find alternative training options that fit the schedule, such as getting up a little bit earlier, or maybe having a quick lunch and then going for a run real quick. I could also break up these workouts throughout the day, so they're 2 or 3 shorter ones. Next obstacle, injury, physical limitations. Do you get sick? Whatever. It's going to set me back. It's going to delay progress. What can I do? First thing, I can talk to my doctor or physical therapist to make sure I don't have any existing injuries or limitations. I can incorporate cross-training activities to reduce the impact on my joints and prevent overuse. So I'm not just running, I'm doing other things as well. Another thing I can do is gradually increase the intensity and duration of my workouts to make sure that I'm building up slowly and minimizing the risk of an injury. Big one for a lot of people is lack of motivation. What can we do? Well, we can find a training partner. We can join a running group. We can create a training plan that has specific goals and milestones. We can reward ourselves for reaching milestones or completing workouts. We can visualize crossing the finish line to achieving a goal to stay motivated. We can do a lot.
Yeah.
What if people don't support me? A, I would say, who gives a shit? But B, like, you just need to tell people this is an important goal and stay committed. You need to maybe drop some of those shitty friends who are telling you shouldn't do it and find supportive friends, seek out supportive family members, ask people to join in, or ask people to just attend the race. They don't even have to do it with you.
Yeah.
Poor nutrition, hydration habits means you have less energy, less stamina, potential for injury or illness. What can I do? I can consult a dietitian. I can get a nutrition plan, making sure that all the balanced carbs, protein, and healthy fats are there to support it. I can track my food and water intake to make sure that I'm getting it all. I can plan and prepare meals to make sure that I'm not eating unhealthy. And I can seek out that personal guidance from an expert. So that's an example of the goal sheet that people work through in my program.
We just got to see your program. We know it all now.
You know it all.
I screenshotted all that. So
everything. Good.
Yeah, now I have it all.
I hope everybody did.
It's cool because we have different but similar approaches to goal setting in our programs. So it's cool.
Yeah. So, and the biggest thing is when you set a goal, this is a way to be proactive about making sure that you hit that goal. Because if you already know that these are obstacles, when it actually becomes an obstacle, it's not going to be that big of a hurdle to get over.
Yeah.
Because you've already trained your mind around it. You have, even just writing it down, you have a way to get over, through, or around.
Planning. Yeah, dude. Love it. And then would you say over time, as you work that obstacle jumping over muscle, we get better at leaping over those hurdles when we see them in the future. Like we,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah, because here's the thing. Running a marathon is going to be the same as getting in shape, is going to be the same as you're going to hit very similar things. Like as you saw from the example, there's going to be lack of motivation. There's
Mhm.
going to be unsupportive people. There's going to be times when you're going to incorporate something unhealthy into your routine that distracts from the goal. Like all of the obstacles are very similar for every goal, but once it becomes muscle memory and you understand it, those things aren't that big because you've already dealt with it once in a similar aspect.
Yeah.
So the next time it comes up, it's really small.
Totally. Yeah, like in kind, different in detail. You're like, I know what to do now.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Flexing that reticular activating system, get it to do its job without having to think about it, right?
Yes.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that segment
Thanks.
more than I could probably express. It's super helpful to have a different way to get to the same place, because that's that's what you did. It's like, hey, you have a little bit of a different way, but it's the same but different, and it's cool.
Yeah.
So, and I hope everyone in the audience, like, dear listener, this was all for you. If you're listening to the podcast, kind of a bummer because you can't see it, but he did basically read everything out. So if you're paying
I did.
attention, you get what you get. You get what you need.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. You just can't screenshot it and keep it for later, like I did.
No, but here's the thing, if anybody wants a copy, all they have to do, here, I'll even put it up there. There it is. thematchboxlab@gmail.com. You just shoot me an email and say, hey, I want a copy of that obstacle analysis sheet. My pleasure.
Yeah.
I'll get it to you.
That's what's up. Look at that. Look at that. I love hearing that. Yeah. So, I mean, really, you can have anything from my program, because what people pay me for is the implementation, not for the knowledge. It's like, okay, how do I make this work? Not what do I do? Because almost everyone knows what to do at its base level. There's like, I don't know what to do with this now that I have it. So, yeah. Hey, look at that.
I get on calls with people all the time. Thanks, Jen. I get on calls with people all the time, and I'm constantly, even if they don't buy from me, they don't join my program, they don't join my group, I still send them something that's going to help, because my program's 2 months long. There's, I think, over 30 videos or sections. Like, why wouldn't I give portions away? It's just, I'm not hoarding this stuff to hoard it.
Same.
I want people to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you watched all my videos, you'd pretty much never have to work with me. There might be some things, some hurdles you'd still have to figure out how to get over on your own, but we just taught you how to do that.
Yeah.
So because of Ryan, now the secret's completely out.
It's out there.
It's over. Yeah, I'm in Jen's camp, man. I really appreciate that segment.
Thanks.
Value packed, just chock full of them gold nuggets. I'm into it.
All of it.
Yeah. Making it rain, gold nuggets, Salt Bay and gold nuggets everywhere for you guys.
Yes.
So yeah, dude, cool. I mean, I don't really have anything to add, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's all right with me.
Yeah, I mean, that was a grand slam as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just, I like talking about goals. I don't think people talk about them enough, and I think they are the springboard to success in every area of your life.
Yeah, that's all Ryan and I talk about. I don't know if you might have already picked up on that based on how the two of us interact on the show. I would consider him a friend, even though we've never met in real life. But if we're not on the show, if we do have a meeting together, it is discussing goals and how we want to get to where we're going to go and how we can help each other get there. That's why you said, goals. Nobody likes to talk about goals because they aren't sexy. I'm like, then you're just hanging out with the wrong people. Because here's my thing: accomplishing my goals makes me a better father, a better husband, a
Mhm.
better community member, a better
Yeah.
entrepreneur. All the things that I want are like Ryan said, they're on the other side of a little bit of uncomfortability. And sometimes Ryan knows the things to say to help me get through that discomfort. So, like, to me, that's sexy because what makes me more attractive is on the other end of my goals. So, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I
It-
don't know. I tried to think about, like, a lot of people talk about goals without talking about goals, so I think it goes by the wayside of people.
mhm.
Like, you see all these successful people talking about things, and what they're essentially talking is it's very structured. If you listen to Grant Cardone, if you listen to Gary
Hormozy,
Vee, Hormozy,
any of them.
everything they talk about is a goal, identifying obstacles to it, and crushing that goal and becoming better at doing it the next time.
Yeah.
But they just don't say it in that way. You have to understand what goals are and all this stuff we talk about in order to pick that apart.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's, guys, we don't have enough time on this show or in a YouTube video or a reel on Instagram or a short on YouTube or any of that stuff to really give you the tools for implementation. Like that's it just doesn't work that way. It's like you can't take a semester worth of a class in college and jam it into an hour. It's just not a
Mhm.
thing that can be done.
Yeah.
So that's really it. I mean, if that all they can do, they're giving you everything they can. We give you everything we can in the
Mhm.
limited time that we have. Um, that's just the way it goes. Like
Yeah.
trying to disseminate information here, and it takes time.
It
Um,
takes a lot.
oh yeah, yeah. So I do love that though. I mean, if you truly, the most valuable skill set I've picked up over the years is the ability to learn from other people, and
Yeah.
I think everybody should do that for themselves because we all like to talk, we all like to communicate, we love sharing information. If
Mhm.
there's a thing you want to do, there's a dude that did it or chick that's stoked about it and made a YouTube video about it. So you can
Yeah.
learn how to do just pretty much anything.
Yeah.
You just got to go out there and get the information like you are right now if you're checking out the show because that's why you're
Yes.
here. It's because you
Yes.
want information from us.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm all about giving the info for free. And I think that's part of the reason I went to a more, it's not individualized because it's a group, but it's a smaller group of people. So instead of just the big program with the groups, it's just the group setting where I can talk about these individual things with people once a week. They can ask, then it's they can ask questions back and forth on there, and get real time feedback to what's going on.
yeah.
And each week it's different. So essentially, if they knew what my program was, they could ask a question a week geared towards the program and get the full program.
So if they were in your program but also watching this show, they'd just be in like Flint, right?
They'd be what?
In like Flint,
Yeah,
they got to figure it out.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I know how I'm going to get into your program then. Um, um, yeah, cool, dude. So, um, is that we're pretty much there, dude.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
we're at the top of the hour, my friends.
Yeah, guys. I hate to break that to you, but you get to see us again tonight. So
Yeah,
that's always cool. And we look forward to it in
Yeah.
5 hours or so.
Yeah.
Next week's Friday segment, I'm coming at you with the role of Joy in recovery. What we'll be covering.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, stoked. It'll be a little more dense. It's a little neurosciency because it needs to be. I'll try to make it fun and pretty, like Ryan's, as much as I can. It's a tough act to follow here, but it's life.
You got it.
I've done fine every other time. I don't
It's
know
going
why
to be
we
great.
I do it
I
any
loved
worse.
every one of your other episodes. So
Yeah, that's what's up. You're welcome, the home studio. And you're welcome, Jess.
so yeah, I think
yeah.
I think we're out of here.
Yeah, it's time for us to go. I want to do this real quick before we leave. because we want your emails.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan wants his email. He wants you to email him too. But we, as a community, the collective, the Dillon and the Doc, this is how you'd get a hold of us if you have any questions. If you have anything you'd like us to cover on the show, that's a good place to do it. Or if there's something that you want to talk about that you don't want to talk about in the comments on the show, that's another good place to do that. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to. We're getting better at this plug thing at the end. Okay, just not perfect yet. It's not what we got into this for. So, anyways, we'll see you guys tonight. Have a wonderful afternoon, and hope to see you a little later.